Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, and thank you for coming to our webinar today. My name is Jim Guinan, and I'm going to be talking with you about the 401k prospecting topic. So I appreciate your attendance today. And just want to make sure everybody can see the screen here today. So to start with, but our presentation is on prospecting the 401k market. And that is a valuable source of new business for you, the insurance professional. I do want to remind you that our webinar will be recorded and is being recorded today. And I am one of the annuity directors here at Insurance Agency Marketing. I've been here over 5 years now, and we do appreciate your time. So before I get into the topic, I will be talking to you about some things that are going on here, some programs, some incentives here at Insurance Agency Marketing. And then we will get into the presentation. It actually has two parts to it. One is talking about old 401k plans, and the other is specifically on in-service withdrawal. So we'll touch on that topic towards the end of the presentation. So with that, let's get started. And I want to talk with you about a couple ways that we here are helping you save time and put money in your pocket. So the first one is the business builders, and that is the referred producer program. We'll also talk about new producer and marketing reimbursement. So the first, of course, is referred producer program, and this is where we reward you for putting us in front of and in touch with other producers of annuity and life business. And so as you can see, when that individual does contract, that's a $50 bonus for you. And as they continue to write business going forward, you will, in essence, earn an override, which comes from us, not from them. That comes from our business and our override, and that's our way of saying thank you. And it's well worth it because, again, we do spend a lot of money to recruit new producers here to our brokerage. So it's unlimited. You can refer any number of producers you'd like. It doesn't stop, or it's not capped at a certain amount. And as long as they continue to write, you continue to be rewarded. All right, a new producer bonus. Some of you may be familiar with, but these are the different thresholds that we see that occur in the first 180 days of writing business with our brokerage. And so at the end of 6 months, these, as you can see, these are some of the rewards. Oftentimes cash, gift certificates are very popular, but it's a look back. So at the end of 6 months, you look back, see where you're at, and this is the levels that you can be rewarded. So again, IM's way of saying thank you for placing business with us here at our brokerage, whether you're a seasoned agent in the field or just starting to write, and come to us that way. So it doesn't matter. Again, it's our way of putting some cash or rewards in your pocket for hitting the runway fast. And I did mention marketing reimbursement. I don't have a slide for that here, but marketing reimbursement is, in essence, there's a conversion for the dollars premium that you write, single premium life, target life premium, and index business. And as you go forward, every time you write some business, it gets paid. Dollars get thrown into the marketing reimbursement account for you to be used as a reimbursement for expenses down the road. Okay, saving you time, I mentioned in the start, that's our objective, saving you time, things that waste your time, keep you from contacting, prospecting, and seeing people sitting across the table and writing business. So our job is to eliminate some of that, and that's by following up on cases that you've written with us, helping you with illustrations, both life and annuity. Our contracting paperwork has been streamlined such that every time you want to write with a new carrier, You don't have to fill out paperwork every single time. There are some exceptions to that, but over 90% of our annuity companies alone are on what's called the paperless contracting. So once you filled it out, let's say you want to add another carrier down the road, you just let us know, let our contracting team know, and we've already got the information on file. So again, it saves time from constantly filling things out. With as long as and much paperwork there is to an application these days, it's just one less thing that you need to worry about. All right. Also, and I will talk about our website, but again, there's a lot of information on our website and resources that you can access when we're not here. So after hours access, again, to get you updated information to help you close that next piece of business. Our creative department is not only helps us out a lot here at IAMS, but is here for you. And again, with things such as helping you with website design, helping you develop a brand or improve your brand. So if you have a goal of making more of a concerted effort for advertising or branding your name and getting yourself out there, I would talk with Jacob and his team about ways to improve that. They'll tell you exactly what they can do, give you some ideas, some samples, and give you an idea also what that may cost. So again, creative department has grown over the years here at Insurance Agency Marketing. Okay, our website is www.iamsinc.com. That's IAMSINC.com. And so it's been improved a lot. I go to the website almost every day. I think every day. A lot of times, what I'm doing in my role here as annuity director is we're looking for products that fit what you have, and it's hard to keep track of when you're in the field. There's 35 companies that we work with alone, so finding the best rate for a particular state, a particular age, and a particular premium amount, it's very hard to keep track of who has the best. So we use the tools that are available on the website. Also has income rider comparisons, which is a fantastic tool, and you have access to it too. Also on our website, our current annuity book with over 40 pages has our best multi-year rates, info on our income riders, and also top selling products, competitive products for all of our top annuity carriers. You can also run life quotes through the website, and don't forget our sales resource library. It has some great tools in there, some calculators, financial worksheets, fact finders, all sorts of information that can help you with presentations and sales ideas. So again, if you've not been on our website, I would suggest doing so. There's a lot of information that can help you. Okay, IAMS Wealth Management is our newest company associated with insurance agency marketing. We've been working in the RIA business now. IAMS Wealth has for over 3 years now and has grown considerably. So we want to make this available for you in that if you are a producer that is looking at increasing your revenue, helping with client retention and relationships, this is something to think about. Many of you may have been securities licensed before, but it may have been Series 6, Series 7. This is the Series 65. If you'd like to get some more information about how this could work for you and what is involved and what responsibilities there are, I would suggest answering yes to the question that I'm going to launch right now out there regarding IAMS Wealth Management. Charles and his team would be glad to visit with you or just get you some information on the email. Again, if you're out visiting with clients and you're seeing assets under management or assets that aren't being managed properly, individuals will tell you they may not be happy with it. you can take that next step, get securities license with a 65. You could take over. Again, you don't have to be the expert. The money managers are, but you can present the idea to those people and make a living at it. Again, if you're seeing individuals that are younger or have assets that aren't being properly managed or they don't have good guidance, what have you, you could be that trusted advisor for that business. So again, I appreciate your responses to that. Again, if you answered yes to that, you will get a phone call from our IAMS Wealth Management, and then from there, it's up to you. But our academy is another topic I'd like to spend a little bit of time here. We have one more academy scheduled for this year, and it is September 18th through the 20th. You've probably seen emails about this already. It is our last academy program for 2019. We're looking at around 40 to 45 producers for this. We are in the selection process, but we still have our registration open. So if you are writing fixed annuities or life insurance and would like to advance that, to grow that, you can see on the screen some of the topics that we go through. This program is updated and is pertinent new information every time we have it. So we don't have the same program, but the structure of it is similar. It is a Wednesday through Friday midday presentation. For those that we invite, it's all expense paid. So if you have interest in that, please respond to the question I just sent out here, and we'd be glad to follow up. If you have any questions about that, you can certainly ask me, or if there's another annuity or life manager that you already work with or talk to, certainly reach out to them. If you answer yes to this, you will get an email, that's all, after the webinar is over. It'll be either late morning or early afternoon. And again, we would be glad to visit with you about our requirements and find out more about your business too. So thanks for your responses to that. I'm going to close the poll out here very shortly. So thanks for your response to that. And again, even if you don't, you can always reach out to me regarding that. Okay, and then our last intro, and then I'll move on to our presentation, is to talk a little bit about our marketing summit. The marketing summit has already been set, and our invite list for this. But the reason I have this up, even though this qualification period is over, is to remind you that we will have another marketing summit. Qualification will start July 1 of this year and will run 18 months. Again, it's both a social and educational event, and I do not know the destination. I do not know the qualification for that. All I can tell you is that there will be another marketing summit, and the qualification runs from July 1 of 2019, and that would be to the end of 2020. So again, as the information is updated and we know more, and it'll be put out pretty soon. So look for that on our email. Okay, so let's talk about the 401k market today. And we do have other webinars on this topic. I just want to differentiate what this is from some of the others. This is not a seminar program. This is not about how to run a seminar. This is helping you with prospecting in this market. And again, there's a lot of information out there. I tried to keep this kind of concise as much as I could. But again, these are ideas to help you with your clients that are near or at retirement and have rollovers to talk about. And for those that are still working and contributing, to talk about ways with their existing 401k plan to access through an in-service withdrawal. So with that, let's talk a little bit about some statistics, some information to give you an idea just how big a market this is. Um, there are more updated statistics, out there, I'm sure, but these are just a snapshot of information that I was able to find. So, according to the Investment Company Institute, as of June 2014, so about 5 years ago, 401k plans held an estimated 4.7 trillion in assets, and that represented nearly 20% of the 24 trillion total in U.S. retirement assets. Big market. By comparison, 10 years prior to that, 401k assets were around 2.2 trillion. So how many Americans are in 401k plans alone? We're not talking about pensions, profit sharings, and other plans, just 401k plans here. So in 2013, nearly 80% of full-time workers had access to employer-sponsored retirement plans, and more than 80% of those people were participating in the plan. So when we talk about companies that are a little bigger, 500 employees, those numbers actually are higher. So 89% have access to a plan and 90% participated. So again, bigger companies, bigger plans, more choices, maybe better matching. But the point is, a lot of people have money in 401k plans. So what's the average 401k balance? Well, according to both Fidelity and Vanguard, for baby boomers ages 50 to 67, that total was around 126,000 in March of that year. So for those over 55 in particular, the balance was 150,000 or more, which makes sense. And then also, when we look at these plan balances, over 61% were invested directly or indirectly in equity securities. And in 2014, it was up to over 64%. So just a brief recap here. There is more money today being held in 401k plans than ever before. And I think if we had numbers from 2018, we would see that also. More workers have access to and are participating in these plans, and the average balance is well over $100,000. So the other reality to all this is that people are changing jobs and careers. And with those changes come decisions, not just about their retirement account, but other issues too. So in 2013, the Department of Labor reported that the median job tenure is 4.6 years. And since the people are changing jobs, one of many decisions that they have to make is what to do with my retirement plan. And many times that's one of the last things that they decide. Of course, health insurance. What do we do? Does the health insurance, do we go on COBRA? Do we carry that over? Do we have, there's, as you know, many of you know or have clients who've made job changes. And for many people, what to do with the retirement plan sometimes left behind. It's one of the last things that people decide to do. So do I leave it where it's at, or do I move it into a new plan, a new 401k plan, or to an IRA? So here's some choices that that people will have to make when they're moving from a previous job. Okay, so the advantage of leaving the retirement dollars where it's at are performance. The monies may have done fairly well. So sometimes the unknown of moving that is, will it do that well? Will it perform like it has? If it's done like a 9% or 10% average, based on the time it was in there, will I do that well somewhere else? So a lot of times if it's doing well, You just leave it for a while, perhaps. Another one would be convenience, which kind of ties in with that. I mean, the familiarity of the current plan, to leave it where it is for the time being. There also may be some specific tax advantages, for example, 10-year forward averaging or capital gains treatment. Again, this would be on some quite older plans, I believe. And then another, I didn't have it written here, but another is just a lack of knowledge of to make a change. How do the actual process can be a roadblock to making the change. So again, there's a lot of reasons to move it and to leave it. There may be some others that you've experienced with clients, but those were some that came to mind for me in 401k plans that I've moved for myself. So here's some disadvantages of leaving retirement dollars in a plan. Investment options may be limited or perhaps heavily in company stock. So that would be a reason to say, I'm moving it. I'm leaving it. Another could be that plan fees are too high. The costs are too high. There's a lack of control or access. And there may also not be a good fixed only option or an annuity type option in the program. Oftentimes there may be a lot of different funds, conservative to aggressive, and then the only real guarantee account is a money market, which might make 1% or 0.5%. It's more of a holding tank, but it's not a real competitive return that you'd want to have the assets in there for a long period of time, maybe occasionally as a holding point. Depends on how often the money's being moved around, but that is another one that, and you can see kind of where I'm leading with that as a selling point to move the money to a fixed annuity. So let's suppose that after a discussion with you and who they need to decide with, that they want to move that 401k account into a traditional IRA. And again, let's not forget that they may have a restriction on moving that money to another 401k plan right away. So they may not be able to move it into another 401k. So it's either leave it or it rolls to a traditional IRA. Okay. So you can help them with that. How do we help them with that? Well, they have choices. Again, non-securities, we're talking fixed or fixed indexed options. And why would they want to consider that? Well, the very points that make them attractive. You cannot lose your principal. There's no fees or expenses. Again, without features like an income rider, but just standalone traditional or fixed index products. There's no fees, no expenses. It allows them to participate in growth of the market without downside risk, so they can get some of the upside of being in the Dow or the S&P or the NASDAQ or the Janus or whatever index is out there, but they don't have to worry about losing their principal anymore. They have 100% control of the account. They can decide what strategies it is. They can structure the account to be in a shorter term product, maybe a longer term product, or both. So, I mean, as much control as you have without being able to move money on a daily basis. And there's choices of adding other benefits or features like an income rider. Just to give you some product choices, and there are so many out there. There are just a multitude of choices for where the money could go. So I just wanted to highlight a couple that are really competitive right now. And again, they may not work out. They may not be suitable. You may not like the carrier, but I just wanted to give you some ideas that one right now that we're seeing is very strong in the market of income is AIG's Power Select Plus Income. And in running some comparisons in the last couple of weeks, they're winning in many situations. Many situations. Again, companies are strong for a while and then they exit for a while. So right now, AIG, very strong in income. It can be taken in the first year. It is a multiple strategy product, utilizes various indexes, including S&P and Merrill Lynch. And whether that person is 60 years old or 70 years old, they're coming up as one of the strongest contenders. And you probably have seen that if you've talked with us or run these yourself. When we talk about an indexed annuity that's good for accumulation, again, there's many choices. There may be carriers you like better than Athene, but right now, Performance Elite series, including the 7-year, is showing some very good results. It is a multiple strategy product, has 1 and 2 year crediting, capped, uncapped strategies, so it's diversified to the hilt. Has 10% access, 7-year surrender, and shows very good accumulation, a very good accumulation story. So those are just a couple options. Again, American Equity or whoever, there may be another carrier, maybe a carrier you like, and they all of the carriers that are really in the game, most of them have an income product and a product that's good for accumulation. We don't want to forget that many people may not want to participate in an index. And I see that, I hear that, where the money has been in the market in the 401k plan, and now on that particular retirement rollover or a big balance of that, they may not want to have anything to do with the market, even if it is in an indexed annuity where they can't lose their principal. They may just want to look at a short-term fixed rate, at least maybe initially on the first go with this money. And we have a lot of carriers that offer a fixed rate, some with surrenders as short as 2 years and as long as 10 years. A multi-year guaranteed fixed rate, no questions asked. You know what you're going to earn. Right now, give you an idea, we have 3-year rates at 3. We have 5-year rates at 3.9, and 10-year rates are running around 3.5. So again, your sweet spot's around 3 to 5 years. Again, it's a fixed guaranteed rate for the term, so the rate guarantee matches the surrender length at the end of that term. They could move that to another like product. They could move it to an index. Again, it's just a guaranteed fixed rate. And those rates aren't too bad considering what the 10-year Treasury bond, again, those rates I'm giving you are current. The 10-year Treasury bond's at 2.75 last time I looked at it. I think that was yesterday. So again, the rates have backed off quite a bit. Some ideas of where to prospect for 401ks and other plan rollovers. One of my favorite topics. So one of those would be to talk with your existing clients during annual reviews. That makes sense. That's a great source of business anytime. So if you wear many hats, you're looking for cross-selling in different areas. Maybe you're not, maybe you don't focus a lot on fixed annuities, but if you haven't and you want to start, this is a place to begin. So when you do annual reviews with your clients, with your selling, I don't know if Medicare agents, if there's an annual review with that, but if you're talking to them or updating their financial profile once a year or however often that you meet with them, that's a time to talk with them about both their dollars and referrals. Okay, so you may have not asked this question before, but remember you made that job change a couple years ago. What did you do with that 401k plan? They might say, well, I didn't have one. Okay, well, we assume that they do. So what did you do with that 401k or that existing IRA that you've had? What did you do with that? Is it still there? Did you roll it over into an IRA? Let's talk about that if you did not. Also, a way to ask for referrals is, people that are changing jobs. Individuals that have recently or will be have told you, or you've heard through the grapevine. That's a source of a person you want to talk. That's a source of referrals that can help you target 401k or profit sharing or whatever retirement plan they might have. Another area that I think is a great area to talk to are business owners. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't. So calling on companies or dropping in on small businesses, maybe you do that for a few hours every week and talk with people. Again, we have, and that's a whole nother subject matter, we do have small business pension programs to offer those people, but we can work with them on their individual business or their employees. So again, it's stirring it up. The other, of course, is lead companies, which I will have a little bit of information on as we get farther along. I don't know how qualified those are. Maybe you already have some sources in that area, but I think that we have to make sure that we put out to our prospects, our clients, people that we meet, that we can help them with that 401k. I want to tell you a story and then I'll move on. There was an agent I worked with years ago that did nothing but health insurance and some life insurance. He came to our home office, and in that one of the programs they were talking about this, talking with your clients. So he started to incorporate that in his presentation, like in his fact find, and he started asking clients, have you retired? Do you know anyone that's retired that has a 401k plan or a retirement plan that they need to do something with? And do they know how to work with that? And you know that I work with that. And he stumbled into a rather large rollover. So that goes on every day. And it's a story that we know that happens with any product that you want to start marketing. But if you keep doing it, if you keep talking about it, they will come. And as we know, those balances are worthwhile to work with. Some prospecting sites that you could research on your time would be freearissa.com, larkspurdata.com, and then judydiamond.com, which does have a 30-day free trial, so you can actually experiment with that and see what I believe you can learn a lot more about the companies that have plans and details on that. So, you can reach, that's something to maybe look at a little closer for places to go. Now, I want to turn to the second part of this presentation today, which is in-service withdrawals. So another opportunity that exists in the 401k market is called age-based in-service withdrawals. And what that means is that you are helping your clients withdraw funds from an employer-sponsored plan while they're still working and contributing to the program. Okay, so this withdrawal, if completed as a direct rollover, can allow actively working employees, and it's usually over age 59 and a half or older, to purchase an IRA annuity without incurring income taxes or penalties. So it's the same transaction as a 401k for someone who's left the employer and now has the opportunity to roll those dollars, except it's not accessing all of it. It is a portion of the current plan. So some advantages of in-service withdrawals. Well, maintaining control over the retirement funds would be one. Of course, expanding the investment choices or offering a better fixed-only option. Cannot lose principal. There's no fees or expenses. Again, the individual in an index product has the opportunity to capture some of the growth of the market without being in the market. 100% control of the account. Again, so the client, with your help, has a choice of, do I look into a product that's 5 years in length or 10 years with a bonus, with or without a rider? What kind of access do I want? Do I want an annuity product as a qualified account that has a terminal illness or nursing home rider feature. Again, lots of choices. And then adding income riders or death benefit riders or some other such. Again, usually associated with a cost. But again, it's allowing that person to capture some of the assets in the plan now for various reasons. They may want to self-direct it over to an IRA. So who's eligible for this type of in-service withdrawal? Well, the participants have to meet certain requirements. Guidelines may include a minimum age restriction, usually 59 and a half, although I moved a 401k plan of an in-service withdrawal for myself when I was 47. So now you know I'm at least 47. But I did that at a younger age because it was written in the plan document where I worked that I could move that over. Okay, so that's something for them to explore, but typically it is 59 and a half. Length of service requirement, often 2 to 5 years, or both of these. Plans often limit withdrawals to vested employer matching contributions plus earnings, as well as rollovers and earnings from previous employer plans. Okay, so your client doesn't have to remember all that. All they have to know is what question to ask, and I'll get to that in a couple slides here. Okay, so what plans permit these? Well, profit sharing plans, 401k plans, employee stock ownership plans, and even cash balance, target benefit, and money purchase plans may permit this withdrawal. So what rules and potential issues do we need to consider here? Well, companies may impose penalties. There may be a cost to doing it. There may be charges. There may also be a suspension of plan contributions. Again, it's employer by employer. So again, that's something that they need to weigh out whether it's worth moving. If it's a small penalty and they still accomplish what they want in the new product, again, it's a small penalty. Asset liquidation may result in penalties also. And then loans may be allowed in employer retirement plans, but they are not allowed in IRAs. You can't, I don't know how important that would be, but you cannot borrow from an IRA. So what steps are involved in this? Well, first, you want to have your client or prospect contact the Human Resource Department's retirement administrator to determine if their plan allows it and are they eligible. So all they have to do is ask them this question: can I take an in-service withdrawal? Or also, do I have an in-service withdrawal feature available to me at this time? So if the answer is yes to both questions, does the plan allow it and am I eligible? So the next question would be, which assets are eligible? How much is available to be withdrawn or moved or transferred? Does the plan impose penalties, including suspensions or deferrals of company contributions for these withdrawals? And then, again, more of a transaction question: what are the processing requirements and distribution timelines? So once these questions are answered to their satisfaction and it's a green light, then we now have, we still have the sales process, but if that was the last thing to verify, you've got a sale here. So the next step is to talk about options to transfer that to a IRA. Again, I'm talking about traditional IRAs. There are Roth 401k plans. So I don't know specifically a lot about Roth transfers and in-service, if those are allowed. But again, for our discussion here, we've been talking about transferring it to a traditional IRA. Okay, in conclusion, the people we see and talk to need help with their retirement. So your average participant, they don't understand always all the options available to them when they leave an employer. There's a lot of things to decide, a lot of transitional issues to take care of when you move. And again, how is that done? Many people do not know this. So our job, your job, is to educate them, to guide them, and again, talk about ways to move those dollars from an old retirement plan or an in-service withdrawal and into a product, again, that meets their objectives. So our product here today is a fixed or fixed index product, has guarantees, uh, preserves the principal. So it's the safe buckets of money that they will be help or working with you on, and there's many choices. We can guide you on those choices, just like we do every day with your fixed annuity scenarios. But come to me, come to us with those questions about what is available for out there in the marketplace. That's our job. But again, it's an easy transaction, but there are important steps that need to be taken to make sure it's properly done and transferred over. So I want to thank you today. Um, if you have any questions, I will be responding to those questions after the webinar. Anything you'd like to know about our presentation today, and anything you want to know about our academy, for example, let me know that too. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Thanks so much.